Well, you get sentenced to 14 years in prison.
Right.
You're how old at the time?
Well, so I was arrested at 31. So when they sentenced me, I was probably 33.
Okay. So essentially, you knew you were going to spend the rest of your 30s and part of your 40s
Right.
behind bars.
Correct.
Uh, Now, were you in protective custody the whole time, being an ex-cop?
No, I wasn't. I was in PC for the first, I want to say 8 or 9 months, give or take a month. And then one day I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to hang myself from the fire plug. In this cell, there's these fucking sprinklers. I said, I'm going to be hanging on the fire plug this evening when you come by for the midnight count if you don't get me out of here right now. So about 15 minutes later, they pulled me out and put me in GP. And ever since that day, I was in general population.
Okay. Now, how do you deal being an ex-cop in a society of criminals?
Yeah, you got to be politically correct, and you certainly you take you take an approach of humility but firmness, and be a man, And if someone steps to you, you step right back, or you suck his dick. So and I'm really not. I don't know that I'm any good at that. So I didn't want to take that chance. I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to fail blog there,
Wow, I was not ready for that answer. Okay, so
Well, what are you
was
gonna
there ever?
You got to go there to
I
find
mean,
out.
right? I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, good.
So, but were there ever times with all the gangs and everything else like that, and the deep hatred that these guys have of cops?
Yeah.
And having access to a cop who's also a criminal?
Yeah.
Were you ever attacked, stabbed, beaten?
So I'll cut to the chase. So there was always some tense moments, and in fact, every person in every prison knew who I was. So that's not a good feeling. I'll just say that much. I went to like 4 or 5 different prisons, and every person in that prison, I was the talking point. So a bus comes in, 35, 40 guys get off. They're going to spend 6 months or 60 years in this fucking place, and I'm the talking point. So you want a friend, you want a new friend, you want a bullshit, because you got a community. The first thing is, that guy over there is a New York City cop. That guy's over there is a New York City cop. I was the fucking focal point. So one day I end up in a prison out in Pennsylvania, and I'll tell you the story so it makes a point. So I get off the bus, and the lieutenant pulls me aside. The lieutenant's like sort of in charge of dispersing you. Anyway, he says, "Listen, come here." I go, "Yeah, what's up?" I'm down 9 years. What's up? What do you want? He says, "Just keep your past quiet, and you should have no problems here." I said, "Lieutenant, by 11:30 main line is chow. Everybody in this fucking prison is gonna know who I am." He goes, "Oh, there's a lot of you here, and no one really knows them." I go, "Okay, but by 11:30 mainline, they're all going to know who I am here because I'm a New York cop, right? I mean, everybody in the world reads the New York Post, Daily News, front page. It's on the front page of every paper in the country at the time. But now it's 9 years later. I said, everybody's going to know by fucking..." So I take my bedroll and my shit, and I head off to my cell. The cop at the cell the hack puts me in room 106. I go to room 106. I put my shit down. Dowd! Now, I hate when someone yells my fucking name because, people have a memory of that name, So I don't say Dowd, because the front page of the newspaper said Dowd for 2 years, people recall that shit, especially in prison. You got nothing to do, right? So I'm like, I'm here fucking 5 fucking minutes. The guy's calling my name. So I go back to seat of hack, and he says to me, "Lieutenant just called." He said, "Fuck mainline. They've already called him." He said, "The whole fucking prison knows who you are and that you're here." This is like at 9:15 in the fucking morning. I'm like, okay, here we go. He goes, "Tell Dowd he's wrong. They already know." So anyway, so they knew who I was wherever I went. I'm not a shy guy, but I kept to myself, but the odd thing about criminals is a lot of them have cop in them because they've always lived around the police, right? They've been arrested, they've been processed, they've tried to figure out, some of them were going to be cops, they ended up getting jammed up. So, and a lot of them were cops. Listen, there's probably 2,000 cops in the federal system. So that means there's 5 or 10 in every prison. So, a lot of cops get arrested. I mean, it happens a lot. So So yeah, guys don't wake up one day and say, "I want to be a criminal" all their life. They end up in that life. They started out, they wanted to be firemen, cops. Their family members. A lot of the guys in there, their family members were cops. So yeah, you know, to kill your fucking cousin or your brother when you get home. So it's a dance. So, but there was some hairy moments. I won't deny it. But where you gotta tie up your shoes and put your fucking newspapers on and head into the fucking to the mop room. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So you won't get stabbed.
So you don't get stabbed.